Ooh. It's a little feeling of in there. I want it to be more ooh. Listen. Ooh. That vowel, but with this weight.
More weight. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Little better. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, think less and more.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh. Better. Ooh. Ooh. This is a hard vowel on a hard exercise. Everyone has a spot where if you give them like a hard exercise, it exposes the lack of independence, even if most of the other stuff they're doing is pretty easy for them. Yeah, even if you back off a little bit, when you're like, ooh,
ooh.
When you're there, it's so narrow.
Yeah.
So you have to marry that narrowness with weight. You're saying about learning heavier mix and really mastering it.
Yeah.
All it is the ability to marry perfect narrowness. The good narrowness you have when you take off that weight, you have to be able to hit that exact spot even when you add weight. And you got to get to the point where you don't feel like you are having to compromise the form of the vowel as you add weight in.
Right.
And the more you get good at that, the more you've got solid fundamentals. But I had lots of problems on these types of sounds for a long time. Probably like 2/3 of my journey were just like learning the skill set, and then the last third was mastering it. Maybe even the last half. Like the gap between having like good skills and like feeling like you've mastered narrowness is in some ways it feels really frustratingly close, but it's in hindsight it feels like actually it was kind of far away in a sense. Because the demands get bigger in terms of like the level of refinement needed and the wiring that's needed between the mind and the muscle has to be like a level of accuracy. It's like this, what's they call it? It's like feels exponential. In terms of you might be like 90% there, but the last like 10% is it's much bigger than the first 10% of the journey is what I mean. So later on it feels like you're improving in tiny increments, but in a lot of ways you're improving in bigger jumps than when you start out. So the perception and the reality is kind of flipped a bit.
Yeah, because it's building on what you already have. Like your foundation is stronger and stronger and stronger. It's building on that. Whereas in the beginning you don't have a foundation, so any improvement feels like, wow, I've improved so much because I had nothing.
Well, and it's just easier to figure out when you're not as good at things. Like how do I get this better? It's usually much more obvious and easy to understand and figure out when you've got when you don't have much of a skill set.
Yeah, exactly. It feels harder and harder. That part feels harder to understand and to really grasp, like, what am I doing different from this to this? And like you're saying in the videos, like it's a subtle difference, but that difference is what control, like where you have control and you do lose control.
Yeah. So like literally, if you listen, when I go heady here, ooh, now if I connect it, listen to the vowel.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't really move.
No, the vowel's the same, but I hear the connection is different.
So the difference is when we're not as able to separate, as I connect in, I can't keep that vowel down, so it wants to go up, up. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to go from to
Right.
Yeah.
You kind of bringing it in.
You've got to feel that inward motion of the vowel, even with the weight, and you've got to be able to deal with it. Yeah.
Right.
So the thing is your ability to pull hard on the CT, whilst which is what keeps the larynx stable and keeps that feeling of release happening.
Yeah.
The reason the vowel shifts is because you can't quite grip on that and isolate that CT engagement enough.
I can't quite get that hold. So
it feels like you're having to kind of the feeling is this to me, it kind of feels like you have to hold it in place more. Whereas when there's enough CT engagement, immediately you get that floating feeling on the vowel. And that's kind of what you search for, like how do I get that floating feeling on the vowel even when I'm connecting.